Hey man, say man, the fuck is up, YouTube? Y'all already know what's going on. Boy Dolphin, we back with this bitch. So today we got that boy Lil Jeff Killer. Apparently, dude named like Trap Breeze or some shit like that. I don't know. But somebody sent me this video, told me I need to watch this because this backstory is crazy. They saying, oh, I'm guessing this is Lil Jeff right here. I'm guessing that's Lil Jeff. But apparently Lil Jeff done got back though. God damn. Hey man, listen. One thing I know, two things for sure, bro. Nowadays, gang, you feel me? Y'all got, bro. Listen, bro. What's up with these little niggas backdooring each other, gang? Like, me and my niggas, we would never do that, bro. I could never do that. Especially, I know your mama, your grammy, your auntie, your sister, them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be understanding how motherfuckers could just on some flippy floppy shit. But apparently, Buddy went to go kill somebody and wound up getting his ass killed. And his friends didn't even shoot back. Got all these guns in the video, but don't shoot back. That's crazy work. Let's get into it though.
Lil Jeff's killer has finally spoken out, revealing what really happened that day and what the cameras missed.
I see that shit. I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know? It's crazy, bro.
But here's what you probably didn't know. Someone tipped off Trap City Rob, and that heads up is the only reason he stood on business that day. So who really backdoored Lil Jeff? Was it someone from the Bloodhound gang? And why did the rest just stand there, watching him get shot multiple times without ever firing back? All of those questions, and more, finally get answered in the killer's long-awaited confession. Let's get into it. A shocking revelation. In an unexpected turn of events, Lil Jeff's alleged killer, Trap City Rob, shared his point of view about what really went down. It appears that Lil Jeff left Trap City Rob with only one option: stand on business. Now, if you're not familiar with the backstory, let me bring you up to speed. On June 8, 2024, Bloodhound Lil Jeff, Q50, and one other dude were out standing on business. In surveillance footage that was later released, Lil Jeff and his squad were caught chasing down a rival gang member in the heart of Trap City. In the footage, you see Lil Jeff and his homies holed up in a black SUV waiting for their target. As soon as the target was spotted, Lil Jeff got out of the car and started chasing him down while letting out shots. The target, wearing bright yellow shorts, quickly ducks for cover and immediately runs straight into the porch of the next building in front of him. He was hit once in the chest, but he kept running for his life. I knew the Bloodhounds were bloodthirsty when I saw Lil Jeff, wearing a black Nike hoodie and gray Nike joggers, chasing his target straight onto the porch. For some reason, his homies did not go with him. They stood by their car while letting out shots at the car that dropped off the target. But this is where it gets interesting. The moment Lil Jeff approached the front porch, a dramatic turn of events unfolded. Bullets started popping out of the alley and gunshots filled the air. Lil Jeff was right in the middle of danger, and his homies were too far away to help. They watched him get dropped by someone from inside the house. From another perspective, you could hear a barrage of bullets, and Lil Jeff's homies at the black SUV do not seem to be ducking or hiding from these bullets. I believe these bullets were being shot at Lil Jeff while he was on the ground. This means all his friends were watching him get stood over. They probably only fired a few pointless rounds towards the house. Seeing that Lil Jeff had already been hit multiple times, they turned around and ran back to the black SUV and waited for the opportunity to pick up his body. This point of view makes sense because the police marked a lot of shell casing next to the door, proving that Lil Jeff was stood over as soon as he got behind the big pillar. And again, the pillar in front of the porch was a perfect cover, making it impossible for Lil Jeff's homies to help him in the crossfire. However, it appears that the shooter jumped off the porch right after killing Lil Jeff and started buzzing his homies, chasing them back to the car. You can see the guy in the red jumpsuit, believed to be Q50, limping back to the car because he probably caught a bullet in his foot. A Reddit user confirmed that, "I noticed that when I first watched the video. They lowered their guns in distraught like, damn, our big homie just got stood over in front of us." And then they snap back into reality and start shooting at him. However, by that time it was too late. Lil Jeff was shot in the chest almost 19 times.
Damn!
And you could see him collapse at the end of the video. But it didn't end there. After the rounds of bullets on Lil Jeff, his homies cycled.
Dog. That's what I'm talking about, gang. How you go slide on a nigga and get shot 19 times in your chest and your niggas, bro, they watched you get shot 19 times. And y'all niggas still want to be gangster? Y'all still want to be out here playing with this shit?
back and picked him up before the police arrived.
Crazy.
They drove his lifeless body to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Another user said, that matches up because they did say the guy was dropped off in a black SUV by his friends. I just looked up the address where the hit went down on Google Maps, and it all makes sense. You can spot the silver Jeep parked opposite the black SUV. It was probably the camera from this house that captured the incident. When you pan the map a little, you will get the perfect view of the black SUV that served as the getaway ride. Although Trap City Rob has been very low-key about the hit, maintaining a low profile and keeping it cool, he finally confessed. His confession not only revealed him as the shooter, but also gave another perspective of the operation, painting a perfect picture that the surveillance footage failed to capture. In an interview with Block 2 Block, Lil Jeff's killer confessed that he saw 6 people chasing down his homeboy.
Damn. Okay, so is there anything about that case you want to clear up and just touch about, bro? Because I see you got a whole different perspective.
I see the videos. I see that shit. I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They was crazy, bro.
Now that's a whole different perspective. How did he know there were 6 people there? The video that circulated online didn't show that amount. I guess that's where Trap City slipped up. However, despite how smoothly the counterattack went, Rob did not boast about it. He claimed that he was only doing what was necessary to secure his hood. This appears to be true because a resurfaced video shows Trap City Rob on the front porch of the building where Lil Jeff was killed, just chilling and observing his environment. A fan quickly observed that, for real, this dude like some troll in a cave you didn't know was there till it's too late. This is his spot and he held it down. It's no surprise that people started praising Rob as the defensive player of the year. During the interview with Block 2 Block, Rob confesses why he was always on the front porch, saying he is critically conscious of his environment.
I'm conscious, bro, like, I'm in my environment, but I understand the overall, you know what I'm saying?
This is particularly true because in the same interview, you could see Trap City Rob and his homies, OTF, Black and Terror, constantly observing their left and right for any possible threat. Damn, Chicago is not for beginners. Trap City Rob then went on to give a glimpse of his critical consciousness, revealing that drill rap is a plot against black people to fight themselves. Unfortunately, young black people have fallen for the bait, which is why they always run up on each other at the slightest inconvenience.
Black man is very underdeveloped and undereducated in America, bro.
Ooh, not me?
No, listen, bro, when it comes to emotional intelligence, reasoning and people getting shot over shoes and that's not being emotionally intelligent.
Trap City Rob's responses during this interview attracted several positive comments to the hood. One user commented, "Rob is what you call a grown man," and another quickly added, "These dudes are mature. Jeff was a little immature kid running up on some OGs. Jeff didn't think before he reacted. That's what separates a grown man from a little boy. OGs don't move the way Jeff did. OGs have rules and guidelines." The interviewer then reminded the trio about the viral meme on Reddit, where Robert's face is photoshopped on Malcolm X's iconic photo with the caption, "Protect the Trap." The post suggests that Rob should run for president with the assurance that he will triumph in politics. Trap City Rob then acknowledged that he had seen the meme on Reddit, but he is not out to chase clout on the internet.
Chase that shit. I don't even like it, so I don't need no internet crazy. So.
Trap City Rob is truly smart and understands that bragging about the hit will only continue the circle of violence in the city. After all, the entire beef has been bloody because every hood wants to slide for their fallen homie, fueling an inextinguishable hood war. The Hood War. In an earlier interview covering Lil Jeff's lifestyle, the rapping hitman revealed that he had been on the street since he turned 18.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm gonna say when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
However, Bloodhound Lil Jeff revealed that although he jumped off the porch relatively late compared to his peers, he was no stranger to the street because he had an older brother who plugged him in on the cruelty, violence, and lifestyle of the street.
But the shit I'm doing now is I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother. So this shit ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing.
In case you don't know, Lil Jeff's older brother's name is J Boogie. Interestingly, the beef between Drill City and Trap City that ended the lives of young street boys, including Lil Jeff, started with gangsters like J Boogie. Now what you should know is that J Boogie is about the same age group as Trap City Rock. And what's most important to note is that back in the day, these dudes were cool with each other. In the interview by Block 2 Block on YouTube, Trap City Rob confirmed that the two hoods used to be cool until the Bloodhounds stole their homie's chain. And then then everything went south.
Fuck, used to hang with them. They know what they did.
So, okay.
They know what they did.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a that was my homie. He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my homie chain.
But again, if you look closely, you will see even far deeper than what Rob said was the reason for the beef. At least for Bloodhound Jeff, their feud started with the death of his cousin Z-Money. Let me give you a little background. Very early in Lil Jeff's growth, J Boogie caught a charge and was sent behind bars. Now with J Boogie in jail, Lil Jeff's cousin Z-Money stepped in and started playing the role of an elder brother to Lil Jeff. He helped do his dirty work for him. He gave him the spotlight while playing the role of a background director. However, Lil Jeff and the entire Bloodhound gang would be faced with one of the most devastating losses that would sever the street alliances between trap and drill cities. On the 16th of March, 2023, Z-Money was killed. According to news reports, Z-Money was in his car on the 1300 block of East 79th Street near the 79th intersection in Kimbark. He was in the Avalon Park neighborhood in the parking lot of a dry cleaner store. There, the tragedy unlocked. It was reported that a car approached Z-Money in the neighborhood and began to fire shots in his direction. Z-Money was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center. Unfortunately, there
what
he
is these
breathed his
niggas
last.
shooting?
Z-Money's unfathomable death was a painful loss to the Bloodhounds, but most especially to Lil Jeff, who had enjoyed Z-Money's protection since his brother was incarcerated. After the murder, Lil Jeff and his right-hand man Q50 would go on to tattoo Z-Money's name on their skin as a tribute to their fallen hero. Just when the situation was cooling off, the rumors about Z-Money's killer's identity began to circulate. On Reddit, it was rumored that Z-Money was backdoored by his old friends at Trap City. Following the whispers on the street, Lil Jeff was restless and thirsty for blood and soon went out for a hunt. And Lil Jeff, he always had a target in mind. Lil Pooh, a Trap City dude who had been dissing Z-Money, was out on the street walking freely like it was Thanksgiving Sunday. He started showing up at familiar places, acting like everything was cool despite knowing that his name was being whispered on the street. But Lil Jeff was not one to rush. He always gave his targets time to let their guards down while strategizing on how to strike. On April 9th, 2023 was the D-Day. Jeff and the Bloodhounds had decided that Lil Pooh wasn't going to see the next summer. However, Lil Jeff didn't just roll up on Pooh and spray him. He instead waited for him outside his home, as patient as a watchdog. And when Lil Pooh arrived home to rest his head, Lil Jeff sent him to eternal rest. According to CPD, at about 11:30 p.m., shots rang out at the 1800 block of 223rd Street. As soon as they arrived, they found the victim, later identified as Pierre Boozer Jr., unresponsive in the front yard of his home. He was shot multiple times until he breathed his last. No one said a thing about the hit to the police, but the street knew who the prime suspects were. Then shortly after, Lil Jeff wanted to send a clear message. He dissed Lil Pooh in an unreleased song hinting that he waited outside his home and got him. Lil Pooh dissed Z now, Lil Pooh gone. You know that shit never take too long laying in a grass until he come home, he rapped. Word on the street was that Lil Jeff never released the diss out of respect for his Flipside homie. However, when Lil Pooh's homie posted his picture, Lil Jeff sent a message saying he dissed Z. Lil Jeff was direct. No Z-Money disrespect can be tolerated. However, Bloodhound Lil Jeff did not just slide for Z-Money and went back to his shell. He had tasted blood and was craving more. Shortly after, Lil Jeff was out on the street again chasing his ops to their early graves. One of the most popular moments Lil Jeff chased down ops was the murder of BKN, Lil Rob, and Monty, captured on camera. The tragic incident unfolded at the Innovations High School located in downtown Chicago in an area known as Loop. At about 12:30 noon, Lil Rob and BKN Monty were heading out of school for a lunch break towards Washington Street and Wabash Avenue. As busy as that location was, as soon as Monty and Lil Rob arrived, two cars pulled over and some armed men jumped out and began to let out shots, killing the BKN boys. Surveillance footage shows Lil Rob and Monty casually walking toward the elevator structure, completely oblivious of the terror ahead of them. If you look to the right, you will see the moment a dark-colored SUV pulled up from underneath the train tracks. One person pulled out of the car, approached the boy in a frenzy, and opened fire on them. As soon as the targets are hit, the shooter rushes back to the vehicle and takes off towards Wabash and South, then turns left on Madison and escapes. Although the surveillance footage captured only one vehicle pulled up for the hit, according to CPD Deputy Chief John, two cars pulled up and fired multiple shots at a group of teenage boys.
When two cars pulled up and a group of individuals exited said vehicles, fired multiple times, striking two of the teenage students of Innovations High School. These individuals were taken to Northwestern Hospital, where they succumbed to their injuries.
Eyewitnesses said over 10 to 15 rounds of gunshots rang out, and within a split second, the shooters took off. Local shopkeeper Muhammad Ashik described the shots from his point of view as sounding like firecrackers.
Like a firecracker, you know, like a something like a firecracker, you know, like a 10-15 shot. Boom, 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 boom.
If the shot sounded like a firecracker, that means that at least one of the shooter's pistols was probably equipped with a switch that sounded like explosives. It was a brutal hit and the entire city was mourning. Oh, not the entire city per se, because shortly after the hit, the mastermind of the hit would go on to brag about the operation. First, he hopped on IG Live and started making comments hinting that he just dropped 2 bodies, adding to his body count.
Feel if I get mad enough, will start happening. Y'all know this by now. I went for like a week and poof. Gotta go. After that one, poof. I came back, poof.
Lil Jeff was so cold that many fans of the drill wondered why he chased down Lil Rob and Monty with such precision. I'll tell you why. Back in the day, Lil Rob and Monty allegedly robbed Lil Jeff of his pieces of jewelry. As disrespectful as that was, the boys would hop on the internet to start a spree of trolling and disses directed at the Bloodhounds. The BKN boys bragged about the robbery and claimed the jewelry they got was fake.
Tell the op. We talking broad day. You taking trophies.
We got like 50K down. That fake AP they got.
Lil Rob and Monty flexed about the bounty price and showed off 2 watches grabbed from the hit. Hilariously, one of the watches was a fake iced watch designed to look like an original AP timepiece. Almost immediately, a Reddit user noted that iced out watch had a GLD logo on the clasp. It's an online jewelry store that specializes in plated jewelry, aka fake. When the news hit the street, Lil Jeff hopped on IG Live claiming that nobody took anything from him by force. The boys wanted to take a look and ran off when he wasn't noticing.
On my dead grandmother's head, if I'm lying, I'm down. God could come pull me out this car right now. I never took a dollar from nothing. A nigga said, let me take a picture, this, that, and that. I look up, the nigga then ran down. We all the way at the top of the staircase first off.
Shortly after, a YouTuber, Word from the Trenches, would get Monty and some BKN members on his vlog where they repeatedly flexed the watches they stole and bragged about the operation. On the same vlog, Monty got a FaceTime call from Bloodhound Lil Jeff. In the intense conversation, Monty started by asking Lil Jeff where the J at, meaning where is that jewelry, then proceeded to show off the watch he stole from him. All the BKN boys did on that vlog was disrespect Lil Jeff and troll the entire Bloodhound. And Lil Jeff doesn't take disrespect. Almost a year after the hit, the Chicago Police Department hit a milestone in their investigation and began making arrests. The first suspect was identified as Tommy Coleman, an affiliate of Lil Jeff and the Bloodhounds. He was arrested on the 5700 block of North Mason and hit with double murder charges. Then earlier this year, a second suspect was identified as 20-year-old James Allison, known on the street as J-Mo Bloodhound. Word on the street was that Lil Jeff was next on the line before his tragic death. It's no surprise that when the news began to circulate that Lil Jeff was killed by I-Trap Rob, a fan declared he killed Lil Rob. Now he got by Big Rob. Although a funny remark, it goes to show how there is no way out of gang violence other than death. But here is a big question. Why did Reddit pin Lil Jeff's body on Trap City Rob? The aftermath of Lil Jeff's death. As soon as the news of Lil Jeff's death hit the street, the city of Chicago was startled by a series of trolling on the Reddit community, with most of the disses directed at the hood allegedly responsible for sending Lil Jeff back to his maker to protect their own. As expected, the members of Cheericology, a subreddit for discussing Chicago drill culture, wasted no time identifying the killer. Discussions on Cheericology alleged that the shooter was none other than Trap City Rob. This is largely because Trap City Rob, or I-Trap Rob, has been arrested several times at the apartment where the shots that took Lil Jeff out were fired. However, while some were identifying the shooters, others were analyzing the video to identify the faces of the guys Lil Jeff was on the drill with. Remember the guy in the red jumpsuit? Fans identified him as Q50, and people started trolling for getting shot on the drill. However, Q50 denied being involved in the drill.
Does it make it worse when there's like videos and people reacting to it? And they're trying to say you slipped and fell, and you saying I wasn't even there, right?
I wasn't even there. Stop saying I was dumb, man.
Well, Q50 might deny all he wants, but the street is hardly wrong. In the same light, the Reddit investigators identified the guy in the yellow shot who Lil Jeff was chasing as Trap City Glenn. In a shocking turn of events, it turned out that day was not the first time Lil Jeff chased down Trap City Glenn, because it was alleged that Lil Jeff once caught Glenn slipping at a store and fired 15 shots at him. However, Glenn always survived a Lil Jeff ambush. Then a resurfaced video shows Lil Jeff talking about the time he chased down Glenn at the store, confirming the rumors on the street.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that stuff. Too bad it's that. He get to see y'all. I'm glad that he can see y'all talk about him all day.
Well, 15 shots could have killed Glenn, but Glenn survived. A fan quickly commented, "Damn, that gotta be blessed FR. Grandma been praying for him type shit." However, Lil Jeff was bent on killing Glenn, and he was not going to give up after a trial. So he went out again. This time he was got. Shortly after the hit, despite denying the body, police documents show that Trap City Rob, born Robert Coleman, was arrested in connection to the homicide. Authorities believe there was probable cause for the arrest of Trap City Rob because a witness identified and placed him at the crime scene where the shooting that killed Lil Jeff took place. According to the document, surveillance officers spotted Trap City Rob entering and leaving his apartment on S. Rhodes Avenue armed with a black firearm. It is important to mention that the surveillance officers were aware that Trap City Rob was a convicted felon and gun offender who was not supposed to own a firearm at any point in time. The report says that when the police officer tried to get Trap City Rob under custody, Rob pulled away and refused to follow verbal instructions. He used dead weight to stiffen his body, making it difficult for the officer to handcuff him. The report states that Trap City Rob left the officer no choice but to employ control techniques, escort holds, and emergency takedown to get the arrestee in custody. During the struggle between Rob and the officer, a black-loaded firearm fell off Rob's thighs. At this point, Trap City Rob continued to resist arrest until another surveillance officer joined in and forced the cuffs on Rob's wrist. It was reported that because of Trap City Rob's body size and resistance, 2 handcuffs were used on him, which resulted in injuries on his right wrist. However, Trap City Rob's actions were not without consequences. According to the document, after being placed into the squad role, Coleman was transported directly to 2nd District lockup due to his actions and demeanor on scene. In a shocking turn of events, an investigation into Trap City Rob's involvement in the homicide failed to prove that Rob was the actual shooter. As a result, the murder charge labeled against him was dropped, but because he was caught with a gun as a convicted felon, the gun charge would stick and he will probably get some time in jail. However, following Trap City Rob's arrest, a series of reactions and rising controversies erupted on Reddit. One user commented, "I ain't well versed on Illinois self-defense laws, but it is insane to me that anybody would be charged with murder in this situation. Was it because they kept shooting him?" Another user responded, "Ain't no self-defense for overkill, probably a couple shots or so, but not 19. While the argument was centered around whether or not Lil Jeff's killer acted in self-defense, another Reddit user was concerned about dropping Rob's gun charge. The comment says, "Free as for that armed habitual he proved that day, why made it a habit?" And to be honest, most fans share the same perspective, which explains why Trap City Rob was praised for standing on business after the incident. It's almost like the entire case was solved on Reddit before CPD started their investigation. But here is a big question: if the police drop Trap City Rob's murder charge, that means the shooter is out there. Who could that be? I stumbled across the words of a Reddit user, which I'd like to leave you with. I said Rob ain't pull it. The real shooter, we will probably never know because they lying low and not publicly claiming it. If you enjoyed this video,
that's wild. Damn, that's wild. See, man, ain't no love in the streets, gang. Ain't no love in the streets, gang. I'm gonna chalk that shit up. Throw it away, gang. Get you a job. Do this. Leave that street shit alone, because ain't no love in the street, gang. Niggas don't even slap box no more. And that's the problem, because there's not a lot of fathers in the homes no more to motherfucking lay down discipline, bro, to understand, like, you know what I'm saying, to even goddamn make a man now. It ain't happening no more. So that's why all these little motherfuckers want to shoot shit, because they can't fight. They can't fight, bro. You see what I'm saying? And motherfuckers scared to get punched in the face and don't want to look stupid or don't want to, motherfucker, bro, fuck that, bro. I grew up where, okay, we gonna fight, bitch. If you beat me, don't worry about it, because every time you see me, we gonna fight again. Yep. We gonna fight. We gonna keep fighting until I win. Like, fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was just that. Nowadays, you beat a motherfucker up, now they want to shoot you, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. You feel me? Like, damn, what is the self-defense laws in Chicago? This shit crazy.